Hi there, it's Kent Sayer with Nutrition Connection Balance, and today we're talking about how to choose the right supplements. We get a lot of questions like this, and I think people would find it helpful to have a refresher on some of this information. The goal is to educate on what to look for and what to avoid in a supplement. This is incredibly useful information, especially in today's day and age. Between how easy it is to order supplements on the internet and marketing tugging at our emotions, there's a lot of supplements that seem like they're healthy when they may not be. We all know the feeling. Seeing an advertisement for the next big thing and thinking, wow, this is what I need. This is going to make a big change for me. It's exciting, and that's exactly what the marketing company is going for. But this doesn't mean that it's good for us in every case. Many supplements these days are promoted as a one-size-fits-all, and that simply doesn't line up. Not every person needs the same supplement, and not every person needs the same dose. And last but not least, contaminated supplements are a huge problem. People take supplements because they want to be healthier, reduce their risk, or they want an alternative to prescriptions. This makes it incredibly important to be choosing the right supplements. Here are 3 simple steps to choosing a supplement. Number 1, is it third-party tested after manufacturing for contaminants? Number 2, is it researched with peer-reviewed studies in humans? And number 3, is it bioavailable, or is it the right form? And a bonus, has the supplement itself been proven to be effective and see actual change in real people in the real world? Up first, we're going to talk about supplement contamination. This screenshot is directly from the FDA's website. Fact, the FDA does not generally review dietary supplements before they are sold to consumers. Much of the FDA's role begins after the supplements enter the marketplace. This means it's on us to be making informed decisions. Just because you see a supplement on a shelf at the store or online does not mean that it is safe or effective. This makes contamination and mislabeled supplements way more common than we think they would be. For example, look at this list on the left side of the screen. These are weight loss supplements contaminated with drugs. Look at how many there are. This shows 1 through 10, but there are 219 entries. A 2018 study from JAMA Network also found unapproved pharmaceutical ingredients in supplements. Additionally, Clean Label Project tested 160 protein powders from 70 of the top-selling brands, and they found that 47% of these protein powders exceeded California's regulations for heavy metal contamination. Similarly, a 2019 study tested 272 herbal supplements in the northeastern United States and found that more than half of them were mislabeled, meaning the ingredients on the label did not match what was actually in the product. This makes it very clear that it's on us to make smart decisions around supplements. Our highest recommendation is to seek out third-party tested supplements or supplements from a third-party tested facility. Any supplement you find at NCB has been tested, so we know that it's not contaminated. Testing after manufacturing makes sure that there's no pathogens, heavy metals, pesticides, or mold in the product. Think of it this way: ingredients are harvested, transported, manufactured, bottled, and then they end up on your shelf. Testing after manufacturing ensures that you're getting something that is safe and that the label actually matches the ingredients. The gold standard for third-party testing is the NSF certification or the NSF for Sport. Sometimes individual products are certified, as you can see on this image of Juice Plus with an NSF logo, and other times an entire facility can be certified, meaning that any product that comes from there has a regular testing protocol. We want supplements that are tested for contaminants and ingredient verified. Step 2. Does the supplement or ingredients have research proving its effectiveness? We're not taking supplements for the fun of it. We're taking it to get a health benefit. This means we need to make sure that we're taking something that actually works. We want supplements backed by peer-reviewed human studies, and we want to make sure that they do no harm. This ties back in with some of the marketing for supplements. We need to be wary of where we're getting our information from. Blogs, people sponsored on social media, magazines, health food store employees, and well-meaning friends do not count as reliable sources. You want to make sure you're getting your information from a specialist, someone with direct experience in the field. This means that they know how to evaluate the research and they have direct experience with real people. Step 3. Is it bioavailable? Meaning, can our bodies use it? If not, then it's pointless to take. The form really does matter, and this isn't just the physical form, like if it's a powder or a gel or a capsule. Let me give you some examples from our nutritional foundation that we recommend for everybody. First up, vitamin D. We want to be choosing vitamin D3 and not vitamin D2. Vitamin D3 is more bioavailable, meaning that it's more effective and we can take less of it to get better results. The same goes for omega-3s. We want to be focusing on the triglyceride form and not the ethyl ester form. And I want to touch a little bit on proprietary blends because a lot of supplements will say that on the back. A proprietary blend is a mixture of different ingredients that is unique to that brand. Oftentimes, that proprietary blend doesn't actually list how much of each individual ingredient is in the supplement. Especially with supplements that have proprietary blends, we want to be making sure that it's third-party tested first. So those are the basic 3 steps for how to choose an effective and safe supplement. Next, we're going to talk about the most common supplements that people use and how to make better choices with them. This includes multivitamins, herbs, probiotics, and protein powders. And we're going to start with multivitamins. Especially on social media, you'll see a lot of people recommending a generic multivitamin for everybody. This is something that we just don't agree with. Let me explain. Multivitamins are generic, they're unnecessary, especially for kids, and taking them when not needed can actually be harmful. What we recommend instead of a multivitamin is the Juice Plus capsules or superfoods powder, and this is something I'll go into a little bit later. Multivitamins are a one-size-fits-all. Why would every person need the same generic amount of a vitamin or mineral? It just doesn't make sense. People should take a vitamin or mineral based on their biomarkers, based on a deficiency, not just because it's supposed to be good for you. When a test shows a deficiency, like on this urine minerals example I have on the screen, that's when we individualize a specific vitamin or mineral in a specific dosage. This way we can ensure that your body's getting what it actually needs and that you can get the health benefits that are associated with that. This is especially true in children. About 1/3 of US children take a multivitamin or multimineral. A study from just 3 years ago on 288 children led the American Academy of Pediatrics to say that many multivitamins do not match nutritional needs. So then why are people still giving their kids a multivitamin? It just doesn't make sense. This is especially true because we know that the Juice Plus Children's Health Study lets kids get Juice Plus for free if their parents take it. There really is no reason to not go with the Juice Plus, which is a better alternative. A deep-rooted belief we have at NCB is that the supplements you take should be based on your biomarkers. If you have a deficiency, yes, then we're going to recommend that you take a specific supplement in a specific amount. But taking concentrated doses of vitamins and minerals when they're not necessary can actually be harmful. The 2011 Iowa Women's Health Study supports this. They found that some of the most commonly used dietary vitamins and minerals, including multivitamins, were associated with a higher risk of mortality. The takeaway on multivitamins and multiminerals is clear. They are not specific enough and they could be harmful, especially if your body doesn't need it. The best thing that you can do is measure your vitamin or mineral levels first and then take a specific supplement for that deficiency. Up next, we're going to talk about herbs. Everybody loves herbs, and they think that just because they're natural, it must be good for you. A 2009 study tested 193 herbal products and found that 1/5 of them were contaminated with heavy metals. And this matches what we've seen in actual people from years of heavy metal testing. Ayurvedic herbs are at a higher risk of containing lead, mercury, and arsenic. This could be from the soil they're grown in, manufacturing processes, or even old school techniques that intentionally add heavy metals for therapeutic benefits. Heavy metals are not something you want exposure to. They directly correlate with increased disease risk and many symptoms. Ashwagandha is a great example. It's extremely popular on social media. It has a variety of health benefits in specific doses, but we've got to make sure that it's third-party tested first. We've got to make sure that what we're taking is not contaminated and that it actually gives us the health benefits that we're looking for and doesn't create new problems. Another incredibly common supplement that people take are probiotics. When it comes to probiotics, we gotta make sure that they're DNA verified. This means that the bacterial strain that is claimed to be in the product is actually in the product. This ensures that you know what you're taking and you get what you're paying for. Here are 3 of the top probiotics that we use on a daily basis at NCB. The Saccharomycin dairy-free is excellent for digestive issues. The Target GI probiotic is great for mental health support. And the Flora-Bites chewable is perfect for kids. And unless you have specific concerns that we're testing for on the side, It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. Up next are protein powders, and this is a big one. Everybody's so concerned these days with getting enough protein. And while that's completely warranted, we have to make sure that the protein powder we're taking is actually a high quality and that it's not contaminated. If you're deciding between plant versus animal, here are some things to think about. Whey and soy-based protein powders have the highest absorption rates, meaning that more grams of protein that you ingest are actually being used in your body. We recommend choosing a dairy or a plant-based protein based on how your stomach feels afterward. If a protein powder still gives you gas after a length of time where you should have gotten used to it by now, then it might be time to consider a different option. The other big thing with protein powders is that many of them are contaminated. Like I mentioned before, Clean Label Project measured a ton of protein powders and found that nearly half of them had heavy metals. Especially with protein powders, you've got to make sure that it's third-party tested. Here are some of the top proteins that we use at NCB on a daily basis. The Juice Plus Complete, the Juice Plus Perform, Plant Power, and Whey Fit and Lean. You can find any of these options by giving our office a call, and for the Plant Power and Whey Fit and Lean, you can find it on our website. So far, we've covered how to choose the right supplement, guidance for the most common supplements, and now we're going to talk about foundational supplements that anyone can benefit from. These are foundational because they have the biggest impact. No matter who you are, they give you the biggest bang for your buck. Up first is vitamin D. Vitamin D acts as a hormone in the body, and deficiency is extremely common, around 40%. But here's the problem with that number. The cutoff for deficiency is marked at 20 nanograms per milliliter. For reference, we found the optimal range of vitamin D to be 65 to 100 for males and 75 to 100 for females. So I would not be surprised if that deficiency percentage was much higher than 40%. Optimizing your vitamin D has so many benefits. Reduced risk of autoimmune disease, lowered risk of insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, and cardiovascular disease, lowered risk of type 1 and type 2 diabetes, lower prevalence of foot ulcers in elderly people with diabetes, reduced severity of COVID-19, reduced risk of lung injuries and pneumonia, reduced risk and intensity of depressive symptoms, increased muscle and grip strength, and improved bone density. This makes it pretty clear. Vitamin D affects so many systems in our body, and it's a no-brainer to optimize this. Everybody knows that you can get vitamin D from the sun, but in our experience, the sun alone is not enough for most people. This makes supplementing necessary, and the good news is that the vitamin D supplements that we carry are incredibly affordable. Remember that we want vitamin D3, the cholecalciferol form, and not vitamin D2. For optimal results and health benefits, you're going to want to test your vitamin D3 at least once a year. The easiest way to do this is with an at-home finger prick test from our office, and it can typically also be done at your doctor. Once we have your blood work, we can recommend a specific D3 supplement dose to get your level into the optimal range. If you don't want to test, here's what we suggest. 2,000 IU per day for adults and 400 IU per day for kids. Keep in mind these are generic recommendations that make sure that you don't get too much, but that you at least have something. This means that for most people, this may not be the right amount to get them into the optimal range and to get the associated health benefits. At our office, we have capsules and drops that are proven to be contaminant-free and effective. The second part of the Nutrition Foundation are omega-3s. Most people are deficient in omega-3s. Omega-3s have so many health benefits: reduced inflammation, lowered triglycerides, reduced blood pressure, reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, better brain function, and one of the most exciting ones, reduced risk of neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's. Omega-3s are essential fatty acids. They're essential because our body doesn't make them on its own, and this means that we need to consume them. Everybody knows that you can get omega-3s from salmon, but for most people, eating fish on its own is not enough. Unless you're eating pounds of salmon per day, and then you would just smell like fish. It's actually cheaper, safer, and more effective to just supplement. Remember, with omega-3s, we want the triglyceride form, not the ethyl ester form. The ethyl ester form is cheaper to manufacture and less effective. We want to be focusing on EPA and DHA instead of ALA. From our experience with evaluating thousands of omega-3 tests, we found that seafood-based omegas typically increase EPA and DHA, and plant-based omegas typically only increase DHA. We want to be focusing on these forms instead of ALA. ALA is the omega-3 that's typically found in flax seeds, for example. When you ingest ALA, your body has to convert it to EPA and DHA, which is a very inefficient process. For example, it would take 10 cups of flaxseed per day to get adequate amounts of EPA and DHA. So instead of that, we recommend just focusing on EPA and DHA. Just like with the vitamin D, you want to make sure that you're testing your omegas by finger prick from our office at least 1 time per year. Based on the test results, we can recommend a specific supplement and dose personalized for your body so that we can get you into the optimal range and that you can have the most health benefits possible. The ideal level of omega-3s is between 10 and 12% on the omega index and never below 8%. Based on our experience, we find that most people without personalized supplementation are around 5%, which is extremely deficient. The test also measures inflammatory markers and dietary fats. So it really does give us a lot of information to make sure we can reduce your systemic inflammation and optimize your heart and brain health. Just like with the vitamin D, if you don't want to test, here's a generic recommendation. 2 of the omega balance per day may or may not be enough to get you into the optimal ranges of EPA, DHA, and the omega index, but it's better than nothing. So if you're looking to start somewhere before you test, this is what we recommend. But if you can test, that is definitely the best option. Rounding out the nutritional foundation is Juice Plus. Research has proven that higher fruit and vegetable intakes leads to reduced disease risk, like cardiovascular disease and irritable bowel syndrome. The challenge here is that most people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables to get these benefits. And that is where we use the Juice Plus to bridge the gap between what you're actually getting and what you should be getting. Juice Plus gives you the nutrition from 30 different fruits and vegetables every day. It's the most researched nutritional product on the planet, with more than 40 different peer-reviewed medical studies, and it comes in a capsule or a superfood powder, so it's super easy to take no matter where you are. So you can see why we feel so strongly about it. Valerie has been recommending it for more than 20 years, and I've been taking it for more than 10. If you want to get started on Juice Plus, or if you just want more information, you can give our office a call, or go to our website and click the drop down at the top that says Juice Plus. That is it for the new Right Supplement video. If you have questions, you can comment below, visit our website, or send us an email. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.